To make this even more fun, what we're gonna do, as usual, I have a nice little patch note sorter here, okay? This is one of my favorite things. We're gonna categorize it. Big buffs, minor buffs, nothing changes, slight nerfs, big nerfs. Let's see what happens. Class notes here. Now, before I read these off, I want you guys to keep in mind, that these are likely going to be, like, this is likely going to be the meta we play the AWC in, I would guess. Unless something's, like, completely screwed, I feel like there probably won't be too much more tuning till after the AWC. I could be wrong about that. I could absolutely be wrong about that. But I don't think that I am. With Season 2 in full swing and following the Mythic Raid being fully cleared, we've compiled a major set of tuning changes to address over and underperforming specs. We're planning on making the following adjustments with scheduled weekly maintenance on Tuesday. So, Frost Death Knights. All ability damage increased by 4% does not apply in PvP combat. So anything that gets listed, I'm going to categorize here really quickly, okay? So, Frosty K, nothing changes. All right, Vengeance Demon Hunter. Deflecting spikes now causes demon spikes to parry 10%. Was 15. Nothing changes. We don't even care about vengeance. Druid. Wrath damage increased by 30%. Star Surge damage increased by 5%. Alun's Chosen Lunar Calling increases Starfall's damage to its primary target by 160%. Was 100. Okay, so I think that's like some minor buffs to Boomy. Right? 30% Wrath damage, 5% Star Surge damage. That's decent. Not bad, not bad. There is a PvP section too, I am sure. Guardian, okay, Druid of the Claw. Wound damage increased by 20%. Empowered Shapeshifting increases swipe damage by... I'm trying not to read chat too much because I know you guys are spoiling stuff for me, so... Druid of the Claw, Empowered Shapeshifting increases swipe damage by 12%, was 6%, and Mangle damage by 25%. Okay, some buffs here for Guardian. Wild Power Surge bonus to rip damage reduced to 200%. It's actually crazy how excited I am for these patch notes. Devastation. Fixed an issue where the final ticket Disintegrate would not benefit from Titanic Wrath or Iridescence while talented into Azure Clarity. Devastation. Evoker Nerub 4-piece now reduces the cooldown of Shattering Star and Eternity Surge by 4 seconds. Was 1 second. Nerub. Isn't that the old tier? Oh, basically they just nerfed the old tier, I think. Undermine 2-piece now cast Shattering Star at 100% effectiveness. So they buffed this. Chance of Devastation Evoker to Undermine 2-piece now triggers more. So they actually buffed Devastation tier. Oh my god, they actually really buffed Devastation tier. That's big. That's big, 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 big. After our last round of tuning, we're pleased with augmentation support capabilities and the strength of the spec. However, their personal damage contribution is lower than we like. We're buffing their personal damage to bring their overall output. Oh my god. That's big. Wait, Aug actually got giga buffs. 15% damage on literally everything? That's actually big buffs. That's big. That's crazy, actually. All right. You might actually play Aug, I swear. Preservation. The Nerub tier set bonus was too strong and causing players to not want to equip newer gear from the Underman Rage. Reducing it. Okay, so they nerfed the old tier for Prez. They nerfed it. All healing of all spells and abilities increased by 5%. Spirit Bloom healing increased by 20%. Holy crap. Energizing Flame refunds 80% of mana. Was 50. Disintegrate damage increased by 25%. Living Flame damage. Oh my god. Okay, well... Oh my god. That's big buffs for the Prez, ladies and gentlemen. Prez got big buffs. Yeah, this one's not in PvP combat. That's the only one. Spirit Bloom 20%. All healing 5%. Spirit Bloom 20%. Disintegrate damage 25%. Those are big changes. Okay, Beastmaster is performing well. We have a few planned changes to address some quality of life issues, as well as a few bugs. Black Arrow periodic effects duration increased to 14 seconds. Was 10 seconds. Okay, that's Beast Mastery. Buff. Witherfire now prioritizes enemies that do not have Black Arrow's periodic effect. Withering Fire now fires 4 additional Black Arrows. Was 2. I don't know how big this is. I want to say this is not anything big, personally. Survival. We're increasing the frequency of Power of the Pack Leader summoned for survival to help make this hero talent more appealing. All damage dealt increased by 4%. Dire Summon Kill Command cooldown reduced to 2 seconds. Pack Leader Boar damage increased by 40%. Oh, Bear and Boar damage. Dear God. How the Pack Leader duration reduced to 25 seconds was 30. Fixed a bug. I don't know how much this matters for survival. I mean, all damage increased by 4%. It's a minor buff, I'd say. I don't know. These seem decent. Like, this seems decent. That seems decent. Let's go Marksmanship Hunter. Oh, God. I don't want to look at Mage yet. Dark Ranger's performance is lower than expected. We're making some substantial tuning to bring them closer to what we'd like. We'd like Phantom Pain to be a compelling source of damage and worth playing around. And Mythic Plus. Okay. Explosive Shot damage increased by 15%. Volley damage increased by 15%. Black Arrow damage increased by 50%. Do Hunters play Black Arrow right now? Do you guys know? Like, I don't even know. Okay, they don't play it, so maybe that'll change it. Oh, they play the other one, right? Yeah, Phantom Pain, damage share increased. Okay, Black Powder damage increased by 100%. This seems like, I mean, Explosive Shot and Volley got buffed, and then Dark Ranger, so I've seen MM Black Arrow crit for 3.5 million in PvP. Okay, I'm going to put this at minor buffs. It could be big buffs, but I'm not sure yet. Mage. All damage dealt increased by 8%. Does not apply in PvP combat. What? All damage dealt increased by 4%. Does not apply in PvP combat. What? All damage dealt reduced by 3%. Okay, I'm going to tell you guys. If Fire Mage doesn't get some PvP buffs, I'm going to cry. Fire Mage needs some PvP buffs. If it doesn't, yeah. We're going to wait and see. So mages for PvE didn't get much, but I don't expect that's the end of the notes. Windwalker, all damage decreased by 4%. Does not apply in PvP combat. Slicing Winds damage increased by 20%. Okay. So they buff Slicing Winds and nerf their overall damage, but they didn't change anything. So nothing changes for Le Windwalker Monk. So far. Mistweavers. We're decreasing Mistweavers' overall damage while leaving their healing relatively unchanged. Spinning Crane Kick has felt a touch weaker than we would have hoped. We're increasing the damage of Spinning Crane Kick. Okay, so all damage increased by 25%. Does not apply in PvP combat. Jadefire Teachings now increases Ancient Teachings transfer by 215. Was okay. Not apply in PvP combat. Spinning Crane Kick damage increased. Doesn't matter. Awakened Jadefire now transfers 120% of damage. These don't really matter. So I would say Mistweaver Monk is very neutral. Brewmaster, 3% ability damage, and their tier got changed. These are not PvP changes, by the way. These are all PvE changes so far. Okay, Holy Paladin. Holy Paladin's throughput has been below our target, so we're combining an overall buff with target increase to a few spells. We really... Okay, so they buffed their overall healing. Word of Glory and Eternal Flame. Healing increased by 20%. Jesus, man. Light of Dawn healing increased by 20%. Holy Prism AoE healing. Okay. Holy Prism single target healing and damage increased by 50%. Shield of Righteousness damage increased by 30%. Oh, they buffed Final Verdict for Rhett. So Rhett's happy about that. Minor buffs. HPAL got big buffs, I think. I would say those are big buffs for HPAL. Rhett finally got their Final Verdict damage, man. They're happy. Yay! Holy Priest. Oh my god. Our aim with the Holy Priest tuning is to increase healing on weaker spells and talents. We're also tuning up Oracle to improve its viability. Prayer of Healing increased. Prayer of Mending increased by 20%. Renew increased by 60%. Oh my god. Light Well healing increased by 30%. Divine Image healing increased by 20%. Divine Image damage. Holy Fire damage. Oh my god. Renewed Faith now increases healing done to allies with Renew by 10%. Renew from Empowered Renew now heals 120% more than normal Renew. Jesus, dude. These are big buffs. Big buffs. Oracle Preventative Measures now increases damage of Smite, Holy Fire, and Holy Nova by 40%. Preventative Measures now increases the healing and prayer mending by 40%. These are huge, by the way. These are huge. Yeah, Renew was ass. I'm glad it got buffed. It was literal trash. But these are massive buffs. Holy Priest will be good. There's no doubt in my mind. Shadow, all damage reduced by 3%. Okay. I mean, Fire Mage just got nerfed. Same. Discipline, lenience now causes atonement to reduce damage taken by 2%, was 3. Atonement now increases spell damage to all healing targets affected by atonement by 32% of damage done. Not applied in PvP combat, so they nerfed atonement for PvE. This is a very, very minor nerf. I would say nothing changes so far for Disc. Okay. Rogue. Ambush damage increased by 40%. Does not apply. Mutilate does not apply. All damage does not apply. Does not apply, does not apply, does not apply. So nothing changes for Asa Rogue so far. Shaman. Lava Burst damage increased by 8%. Lightning Bolt damage increased by 8%. Ice Fury damage increased by 8%. Frost Shock damage increased by 8%. Primordial Wave now generates 12 Maelstrom. Primordial Wave damage increased by 500%. Okay. There it is. I want to say those are big buffs for Ellie. It's still bad. We'll see. I still think those are big buffs. I understand, guys. Like, Primordial Wave hits for not that much, but we'll see. We'll see what ends up happening. Maelstrom. Restoration. The Undermined. Fixed an issue that caused Totemic Projection to apply insurance. Insurance healing increased by 30%. So they actually buffed the set for Resto Shaman. I would say that doesn't really change much. Warlock, all damage increased by 3%. So we got some minor buffs here for Demo. Warrior, Shield Slam damage reduced. Colossal Practice Strikes bonus to Shield Slam and Revenge damage reduced. Colossus, 1 against many reduced to 3%. Nothing changes here for Frost and Arcane. Okay. Tide of Battle reduced to 7%. Mountain Thane, Strength and Mountain's bonus to Shield Slam increased. Okie doke. No one cares. All right, here we go. We're adding a healing reduction effect to Rated Battlegrounds and Battleground Blitz this week to reduce the potential for stalemates in these modes. What? Shouldn't Disc be in the slight nerfs? Nah. I mean, it's basically nothing. Yeah, we're adding a healing reduction effect to Rated Battlegrounds and Battleground Blitz this week to reduce the potential for stalemates. This does not affect unrated Battlegrounds. Similarly, 2v2 arena matches are being drawn out when the healer is on both sides. We're increasing the starting healing reduction in 2v2 arena to allow for initial kill opportunities to be viable earlier. All healing down now reduced by 10% in Rated Battlegrounds and Battleground Blitz. 2v2 arena now starts with an additional 10% healing reduction. Oh my god, all right, there it is. Cool. I don't mind that. I think those are fine. All right. Death Knight. You said it got but it got slight nerfs. Yes, technically you were correct. Discipline Priest got slight nerfs. But the reason why I put nothing changes is because the nerfs are so irrelevant, it doesn't change anything. 1% damage reduction on lenience is just it's literally nothing. It's not technically nothing, but it's basically nothing, so I'm putting it here for now. Okay. Death Knight. These are the PvP specific changes, ladies and gentlemen. Death Knight developer notes. We're aiming to improve Death Knight defense against other melee specializations while increasing the damage of some underperforming abilities. Bloodforged armor now lasts 4 seconds and reduces physical damage by 25%. Soul Reaper's damage to targets below 35% healing increased by... Okay, Soul Reaper's damage to targets below 35% health increased to 75% in PvP combat. This is actually a big change, by the way. Bloodforged armor, that's a big change. And then what do? They buff Soul Reaper for... Okay, and then Sandlane Vampiric strike damage increased by 30%. Blood Sandlane Vampiric damage increased by 30%. I don't know. Does this do anything? Soul Reaper's damage, does that do anything? No one runs Soul Reaper. Maybe you will play Soul Reaper now? Okay, so that's basically just nothing. I guess the defense was okay. Well, I'm going to put nothing changes. I don't think it really changes that much for the Death Knight specs. Death Knights are in shambles right now. Balance Druids. All right, let's look at Druids. We're increasing the damage of multiple balance spells and reducing the spec's reliance on Harmony of the Grove for burst potential. We're also looking to increase the spec's survivability by removing the PvP reduction on Frenzied Regeneration. Not again, bro. Not again. Not again, man. All right. Moonfire and Sunfire damage increased by 33%, so they buff their dots. Keeper the Grove Harmony. Increased spell damage by 4% in PvP. Alright, Boomy got some big buffs. I wouldn't say big, they got minor buffs. Oh, maybe... Okay, so Boomy actually did get damage buffs too, huh? So it got damage buffs and these buffs. We're putting it in big buffs, I don't care. Big buff time. I forgot they got PvE buffs. The Trent damage bonus nerf is taking it from 24% damage bonus to 12% damage bonus, and it's a decent nerf to Trents. I still think Boomies are going to come out of this much stronger. I'll leave them here for sure. I don't know. We'll leave it there for now. Feral. Tireless Pursuit PvP talent now increases movement speed by 25%. Wicked Claws now decreases healing received by 16%. So they actually nerfed Feral's healing reduction. So Ferals have a strictly worse healing reduction now. I think Ferals are still going to be very, very good. I think they're like... I'll put them in slight nerfs. Restoration, Frenzy Regeneration Healing is no longer decreased by 50% in combat. Oh my god. Is that the only Resto Druid change? Rogues got their... I'm not there yet. Spoiler alert. Oh no, man. I don't want to read all these mage notes. No. So, I don't know. This is like minor buffs to Druid, I guess. Very minor. Mage development. We're adding some reductions to the power of mage mobility and defense with emphasis on arcane, which is especially tough to chase. Overpowered barrier is something we're excited to see used. We feel the 5-second duration is too high to encourage the gameplay we want from this talent, which is for enemies to consider waiting for the barrier to expire to continue attacking. We're reducing the duration to encourage that. This also reduces its defensive value since it's indeed been a bit overpowered. Oh. Overpowered barrier now causes barriers to last 4 seconds. I still think this is too good. Am I the only one? I still feel like overpowered barrier is going to be too good. I don't like it. I think every mage is going to play it every game still. This change does nothing. Barrier diffusion is now 50% effective in PvP combat. Accumulative shielding is now 33. Let me look these up. There's a lot of like, I think I know what all these are, but I just want to look it up. WoW talent calculator. I want to look these up real quick. I think barrier diffusion is the one where like, let's see. So yeah, barrier diffusion is the one where when your barrier is removed when your barrier is removed, you get 4 seconds off the cooldown. So now you'll only get 2 seconds off the cooldown. Accumulative shielding. I feel like that's a talent a lot of people didn't even play. So you probably just won't even play that now. Temporal velocity is now 50% effective in PvP combat. What's temporal velocity? Forget. Oh, increase your movement speed by 10% for 3 seconds after blinking and 20% for 6 seconds. I don't think that's really going to do anything. So I don't think this will do anything. I don't think this does it much. I don't think this does much. This is, I think, a good nerf. This, I think, does literally nothing. Incantation of Swift is now 50% effective in PvP combat. Okay. Chrono Shift now increases movement speed by 10%. Womp, 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 womp. All the arcane mages are very sad. Spellslinger Slippery Slingy is now 50% effective in PvP combat. Arcane Surge now increases spell damage by 15%. Arcane Surge damage increased by 40%. Wait, what? Oh, so they buffed the actual cast of Surge, but the effect is worse. Slippery Slinging is now 50% effective in PvP combat. So mages definitely got nerfed. Slight nerfs, slight nerfs. I mean, yeah, I don't know. Fire Mage got bigger nerfs for some reason. Okay, so they nerfed the defense of mage. I still think that overpowered barrier is too good, and mages are going to be very tanky. I'm going to be honest. I am very disappointed that fire mages got nerfed again. I'm not going to lie. I'm very disappointed that fire mages got nerfed again. I feel like fire mage has been very underrepresented this entire expansion. It hasn't really been played. And I'm sad that it got nerfed. Okay, Hunter. Black arrow damage reduced by 15%. Okay, so they kind of counteracted those buffs. Blame PvE? I guess, yeah. Undermine class 4-set effectiveness reduced to 25% in PvP combat was 50%. Celestial Conduit. Okay, so I don't know what's going on with hunters. Celestial Conduit healing increased by 50% in PvP combat. Wait, what? The conduit healing went up? What? This is the most random buff of all time. What are we talking about? Celestial Conduit healing got buffed by 50%. What? Does anyone else think that that's... What are we talking about? Okay, Last Emperor's capacitor now increases the damage of Crackling Jade Lightning by 300%. Okay. Slicing Wind's damage decreased. So, Windwalker Monks, what? Slight nerfs. Mistweaver Monks. Alright. Mistweaver general throughput has been lacking since the changes to Jade Empowerment. We'd like Celestial Conduit to be more impactful cooldown, as it can feel lackluster when split between several players in PvP. So mana regeneration has been... Oh, they made the mana better for Mistweavers? Celestial Conduit healing. That's cool. I'm excited about that, actually. Vivify healing was increased. Enveloping Mist healing was increased. Oh my god. Oh my god. I'm putting big buffs. Mistweaver's got big buffs. Big. Dude, this is great. So they giga buffed Prez. They giga buffed HPAL. They giga buffed Mistweaver Monks and Holy Priest. All the healers that were kind of lackluster got some big buffs. Whoa! Blinding Light no longer removes damage over time effects from enemy players. Holy shit! That's a big change. It's like a fear now. That's a huge buff. Divine Protection now reduces damage taken by an additional 5%. We're pulling back on a few Rep Paladin negative PvP multipliers that we no longer feel are necessary. Avenging Wrath now increases damage and healing by 15%. Blade of Justice damage increased by 20%. Divine Protection now decreases damage taken by 15%. Okay, Rep Paladins. Rep Paladins feeling it, man. I feel like Rep Paladins got some good buffs, man. Plus they got, remember, they got the PvE buffs as well. Nice little rep buff. Okay. Discipline Priest. Mana regeneration now reduced to 45%. Oh. Ooh. So they nerfed the mana. Evangelism healing reduced. The healing taken from Undermined. So they nerfed their 4-set. Evangelism and mana. So Disc Priest definitely got nerfed. We'll put them in there. A Holy Priest. They're buffing Holy Priest even more? Wait, I can't believe Holy Priests are getting buffed more. What? Okay, that... I mean... Omega. Like, dude, we gotta make a new one here. Add a row above. Here we go. Omega Giga buffs. Alright, Holy Priest is going there. There we go. Flash healing increased by 8%. Mana regeneration reduced, so they have better mana regeneration. Their healing is increased. Flash heal got buffed, heal got buffed, Serenity got buffed, Sanctify got buffed, Prayer Mending got buffed even more. Giga. Rogue Outlaw. Preemptive Maneuver now decreases damage taken by an additional 15% in stun. What? Preemptive Maneuver now decreases damage taken by an additional 15% in stuns. Oh, it got nerfed. Okay, God. I was like, wait, what? It reduces the cost of feint by 10%. I was like, what the fuck? Did that get buffed? I guess that doesn't really change anything. Shaman. Oh my God. We're increasing elemental sustain single target damage with our changes in the game-wide section. With emphasis on Maelstrom Sentence, we're also positioning Primordial Wave as more of a threatening spell, which will allow for more kill opportunities. Stormbringer, Tempest damage increased by 20%. Okay. Enhancement Shaman. Dear God, man. Our aim is to increase enhancements overall sustain. Dude, doesn't Enhancement Shaman already do giga fucking damage? I'm sorry for, like, swear, I don't want to swear, but, like, when I fight Enhancement Shamans, they already do giga damn. They're reducing a bit of its burst. Okay, we'll see. We're also looking at a small increase to uptime and survivability through a targeted healing surge and ice strike buff. Storm strike damage increased, wind strike damage increased, lightning bolt damage increased, chain lightning damage increased, ice strike damage increased, ice strike now slows by 60%, healing surge healing increased by 15%, but primordial storm, wind fury attack was reduced, and tempest damage was increased as well for Stormbringer. I'm gearing my shaman enhancement. Those are big buffs. Okay. Enhanced got Giga Nerf. They didn't increase the stand. They don't know what they're doing. Enhanced got Giga Nerfed. You think that these changes are Giga Nerfs to Enhancement Shaman? Those are not buffs. Storm Strike damage increased by 15%. Wind Strike damage increased by 15%. Lightning Bolt damage increased by 10%. Chain Lightning damage increased. Ice Strike damage increased. Ice Strike now slows even more. You got a Healing Surge buff. But they nerfed Primordial Storm and Wind Fury attack. And they buffed Stormbringer. You think that those are nerfs? 10% of Wind Fury, Giga Nerf? I guess we'll have to wait and see. I mean, I'll put them at minor buffs, I suppose, but it doesn't seem bad. Warlock Affliction, the Undermine class 4-set bonus now applies 2 unstable afflictions in PvP combat. Was 3. Nerfed. Alright, so slight nerfs to that. Arms, oh god. Execute, Bladestorm, and Demolish have not had the impact we'd like from them, so we're increasing their damage for Arms Warrior. Bladestorm damage was increased, Execute damage was increased, Demolish damage was increased. Arms buff, baby. Yep. I guess we'll see what happens. We played Enhancement Shaman a bit. It's legit Giga Nerfs. Giga Nerfs? I think that's got to be exaggerating. Okay, so for anyone watching this on YouTube, we're talking to Big Damn. You think these two is a Giga Nerf? Like, I don't know. Maybe he'll just play a different build or something? Like, I don't know. I guess I could put it nothing changes, but Enhance is always bad in Enhancement Shaman's mind, even when it's good. His build makes those abilities do no damn, so they're Giga Nerfs, supposedly. Well, is there other builds you could play? I feel like there's got to be other builds, right? The problem with Enhancement Shaman isn't damage, it's its uptime. They buffed Ice Strike, I guess. It's a bigger snare. But yeah. The burst definitely took a major hit. Perhaps the sustain will be comparable, but definitely not going to scale nearly as scary. Mages and Feral Mobility are coming down, and Ice Strike snare helps. You're mind blown that Frost Mage is untouched? Frost Mage? Yeah, Frost Mage is going to be really good. I genuinely, the thing I'm disappointed the most is I don't think Overpowered Barrier got nerfed enough. Frost Mage is going to be really good. So Arcane lost a lot of its mobility. I still think Arcane is going to be good, but I don't mind that they nerfed Mage's mobility a bit, but I think Overpowered Barrier is still going to be way too good. I think if they had actually brought it down to like 3 seconds, I think 3 seconds would have been more appropriate. I could see that. Like, if you put Overpowered Barrier at 3 seconds, I think that would have been... I could notice a difference, maybe. But I don't think I'll notice a difference with this. But maybe I'm wrong. And then Arms Warrior obviously got some nice buffs. Big buffs, we'll say. Okay, so going into these patch notes, the things I wanted the most, by far, was healer buffs. And they got them. Holy Priest, I think I can't imagine that Holy Priest isn't just insanely good. I really can't. H-Pal also got super buffs. Presovoker got big buffs. Mistweaver got big buffs, so... yeah. Holy Priest is secretly really good. It's going to be OP. I think that there is a good chance that it is very good. And then for what DPS? We saw Ellie go up a little bit. Boomy go up a little bit. Arms Warrior go up a bunch. A decent amount. Rhett got some buffs. I still think probably Arcane Mage. Yeah, I don't know. Frost Mage. Yeah, we'll see. I really... Yeah. For Mage particular, I'm actually surprised Windwalker monks. Windwalker's got very slight nerfs. Slight nerfs to Shadow Priest and Ferals. So when you look at like... Yeah. Alright. I guess that's it. I like these changes though. I mean, I don't agree with all of them, of course, like some of the mage stuff. I think yeah. I'm a little disappointed that Fire didn't get more. Sad about that. Druid needs Frenzy Regeneration removed, not buffed. 20-year-old mechanic, not very fun. You don't like Frenzy Regen? Alright. For YouTube, what do you guys think about these changes? Do you like them? Do you hate them? Do you agree with them? Are you excited? Are you not excited? Can you believe that Frost Mage didn't get changed more?